Hey, good Friday morning, everyone. May the good Lord bless you. You all, in this video, I'm going to show you how to make quick lye. I'm going to make another batch of hominy. I'm not going to do it in this particular video, but I want to make some lye. And the last time that I made hominy, I used the sock. I just put the ashes in the sock and let it cook that way. This way I'm going to show you how to make liquid lye that you can use the very same way, but you don't just put the ashes in the sock. So what I'm doing in the forge here, you all, it's actually 50 degrees outside this morning. It is actually chilly. So I'm going to make the ashes right here in the forge. Last night I was down here making some hooks. I made my daughter a coat rack. And I told her that I would forge her some leaf hooks, so that's what I did. So we'll talk about this process. This is very, very simple. I'm using, to make the ashes, I'm using white oak. You can use, guys, you can use anything as long as it's not a poison wood, okay? In the Middle East, I did a study on this. In the Middle East, in biblical times, they actually used whatever weeds that there were in the fields. They would take those weeds, burn them down, and make a batch of lye out of it. So that's what we're going to be doing here in this video, so stand by. We'll talk some more about it, and we will get this process done. All right, you guys, of course you can do this in a campfire. And that's where I'm going to be making the next batch of lye, you guys, is at my cave or my next batch of hominy. I'm going to be making it at my cave back in the mountain there at about 4,000 feet up. So I'm just going to make some liquid lye right here. And when I'm doing that particular video about making hominy again, I will be using that lye, okay, that I'm making here in this forge this morning. Anyway, when you're making hominy, it doesn't take but about 2 ounces of liquid lye to every, I think, 2 quarts of corn that you've got. So that's not very much, you know, lye that you have to have. So you really, really want to sort of regulate how much that you put in, or know how much that you're putting in there. Tell you one thing, that feels good this morning here at the beginning of summer. But I cleaned the forge out. Like I said last night, I was forging some hooks. So I cleaned all the coal dust, everything out of the forge. I will burn that down to dust, ashes. Then we will mix it in some water and we will boil it. And I'll show you how to do that. I've got a couple of videos on here how to do it, but some lady over in, I can't pronounce her name, in Turkey, believe it or not, watched one of them videos and asked me how to do this. So she was going to the local bakery, and they still bake the food in the ovens outdoors, okay? So at the bakery, she could get the ashes off of the wood that they were using. So I think that's pretty unique for somebody that far away to want to know, ask somebody a question from the Appalachian Mountains how to process that lye. So here's this one of the video. This is one of the particular reasons I'm doing this video. All right, you all, the pioneers, they didn't have stainless steel pots like I've got right here, okay? They had a cast iron pot. Now, last time I done this, somebody on YouTube commented that, man, I was just ruining that cast iron pot. Folks, I'm going to say something right here on this particular video. I am not a know-it-all. I do not know everything, okay? I don't claim I never did claim to. So, for people out there who know it all about that kind of stuff, who've read all about this kind of stuff, who know it all, may the good Lord bless you. That's all I can tell you. Anyway, the pioneers cooked this stuff in cast iron. And what they done was after they got done cooking their lye, they would take hog grease and clean up their pot so that they could reuse it. But if anybody out there thinks that I'm a know-it-all, folks, I'm not a know-it-all. I never did claim to be. So we're going to get some distilled water, which is plain old rainwater. I've got a rain barrel right here beside of the workshop that I use to fill up my quenching bucket there. We'll get some rainwater, put in this pot, and as soon as this burns, and one of the reasons I like to do this in the forge is you can burn this wood down to ashes in just a few minutes, and it's almost that way right now. So let me go outside and get some rainwater, and I'll just show you this process. Now, watching that stuff, just like in your cooking stove, this stuff will go from charcoal to ash. Now right there is the kind of fire that you would be forging in if you were using wood. Okay? That really, really hot orange fire. But for this particular project, we don't need a quart or more of ashes, because that will be enough to make a strong lye solution to cook down some hominy. Before I forget it, you all, I'd like to give a shout out to Matthew Presley. On Celebrating Appalachia, I seen him cooking some food the other night, some deer meat in a pressure cooker, and cooking a meal for his family. And man, that stuff surely did smell good. So Matthew, I'm standing in the blacksmith shop, and I'm supposed to, as a blacksmith, well, so-called blacksmith me, just play one on YouTube, I'm supposed to inspire another blacksmith. So that's what I'm doing with this particular shout out. I really liked your video, and I like your channel. You guys really do a really good a job on your channel. So God bless you all down there at Celebrate Appalachia. And of course, the little ladies as well, the Presley girls. Shout out to those folks. I was watching the little girl the other night, her video, and she was talking about, you know, how everything is going, their way of life is going away. But I will say this about that. You people who know these things will be around, I'm almost positive, for the millennium, to teach people after Jesus comes back to this world, after he comes back and does away with evil. I'm pretty sure that you people will be around to show others how to live their life and how to do the things that you know how to do, especially living in the Appalachian Mountains, and the way that you can do it by hand. That's just one of the thoughts I thought about when I was watching that little girl's video the other night. I can't tell them apart. I don't know which one it was. But anyway, God bless you people down there, the Presley girls, and you folks. All right, you all, that pile of wood which I had right there was almost, I'm going to say it was like a 5-gallon bucket full. We burned that down to less than 2 quarts of ashes, okay? As soon as that little bit of wood right there gets burned, we will be ready to go. This has not taken a half an hour, okay? You all, there's what we end up with. Maybe 1 quart of ashes. I saved a couple of chunks of that wood to restart the fire because I'm going to use the forge to cook this water, okay? Show you how to do this. So here's what we ended up with. It doesn't take, especially if you're making food like hominy, it doesn't take very many ashes to make a strong enough lye solution to do what you want to do. So there we have the ashes. All right, you all, a little more than a gallon of water, okay? We put the wood ashes in there. Now we're going to cook it down right here at the forge. Stir that up really good, you guys. set that right there and let her come to a boil. And what we're going to do is we're going to boil this 1.5 gallons of water down to about half, okay? Then we will take the ashes out of the water, and we will boil it down just a little bit more so that we get a really good strong lye solution. That's what we're going to do. Looks like I'll have to go outside and get another couple more chunks of wood too to put under there. Anyway, it won't take it long. I can bring it to a boil really quick. Put the lid on it. I do want to emphasize this. If you're making lye, this process, I don't care, you know, which way you do it, make sure it's in a well ventilated place. I've got this in a chimney where any fumes that's being made is being drawn up the chimney, okay? If you're doing it, don't do it in the house on the kitchen stove, okay? Do it outside over a campfire, or do it out at your grill or something like that. In other words, you don't want to breathe the vapors that's coming off of your lye solution. Of course, while we're at it, you all, we're gonna make us a little bit of food right here as well, since I'm starving anyway. And of course, got some Frank's red hot sauce there to put in there to make this really good. So that's already starting to steam back there in the back, you guys. I could actually crank the air up just a little bit, so that makes it a little bit more messy, so I won't do that. That'll fly into my food right there. So what do you guys cook at your forge? I was down at Fort Boonesboro, Kentucky about 15 years ago, and the old blacksmith down there had a big old iron skillet, and he was cooking his breakfast at the forge, and he was just making bacon and eggs right over the fire. And that sort of inspired me to start cooking in my forge as well. I made a grate that I can take in and out of the forge. When I'm done, I can just lift the grate out and I can just set it aside, and I can go ahead and do whatever else that I'm gonna. I don't know about you all, but I like cooking this way. This reminds me of, now none of my grandparents, you all, I guess, could afford an oven like this, but if you think about it, well-built houses in the you know, the 16th, 17th, 18th century, they had an oven built beside of the fireplace where they could actually bake bread and cook in. And that's exactly what it looked like right there. It looked like my forge. You get the thing hot, you move your ashes, your red hot ashes to the side, you slide your meal in there and you cook it. Like I say, my grandparents never were, they weren't wealthy enough to have that kind of stuff in their house. And I know one thing, I would sure like to build a log cabin with a fireplace and an oven on the side where I could bake bread and make meals in. What about you guys? And I see that lye water is boiling away right back there too. So is my noodles, by the way. Which reminds me, we better go ahead and slap us some of this red hot in there. That should do it right there. Great day, Dan, that stuff's hot. Tasty though. Woo. Let that cool just a minute. You know, guys, as YouTubers, I've been on YouTube since YouTube was YouTube. And I really appreciate all the people who have watched me over the years. Although YouTube has pretty much canceled me as far as my channel goes. Sometimes I can get, you know, a couple hundred. Now that live video or that hominy video I did, it really got some views on it. I got like 60-some thousand views. But You know, when you're preaching on the internet, YouTube don't like that kind of stuff. And I realize that some people are afraid to speak their mind about the gospel on the internet because they're afraid they'll get canceled. But as YouTubers, we are influencers. That means that it don't make any difference how big your channel is, whether you got 3 subscribers or 200,000 subscribers. You are an influencer. You're trying to influence the people who are watching you to watch your channel. And you're trying to influence them to get them to believe what you're saying. So one of the things that I like to do is I like to influence people about the Lord Jesus Christ. That's one of the main things that I like to do on my channel. I like to represent Jesus in the right way, not the wrong way. You see a lot of people that say they're representing Jesus and God, but they're really not doing that at all. Not at all. You can tell by the way that they act, the way that they do the things on their channel. But anyway, as a YouTube influencer, may the good Lord bless you this morning. We're going to let this, it's been about 30 minutes since that come to a boil, you guys. So we're going to let that boil there for another 30 minutes, okay? That way we will get complete saturation from whatever potash we got in this pot. We will get that saturated into this water, okay? That's what you want to do. But you definitely don't want to be breathing the steam. Let me stress that. Do not breathe the steam that's coming off this pot. Might as well take a little bit of advantage of that heat there while we're doing that, you all. Make us a little hook. That'd be what we're looking for right there. Let's see. Got my other hammer here somewhere. That'll work. All right, you all, that lye is just about cooked down enough. We don't need the ashes anymore now, you all. So I'm going to take the ashes and I'm going to put them back in the forge over here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cook this water down to about half. There is about maybe a half a gallon of water left in it. Let me let you guys see this. There it is. That's in the cast iron pot, right? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of those ashes over there, and then I'm going to transfer this back over into that stainless steel pot. So we'll put it right back through the sifter. Watch your trash, you guys, because naturally you're gonna have some loose ashes in that right there. Okay, now what we'll do is we'll put this back on the fire, and we're going to cut that down to about half. Okay, we've got just about maybe a half a gallon in that right there. Now, you don't have to make this particular batch of lye as strong as you would if you were going to make soap, okay? You just want this strong enough to break down the holes on the corn that you're using. And you saw in that other video, I was just using plain old yellow field corn that I bought down at Tractor Supply. I'm trying to find some white corn somewhere, but around here I can't find any, so not even at the Amish store do they have it. So I guess in my next video about this at the cave, I will just be using the yellow corn again. But I will be using this particular lye that I'm making right here. This is the way that the natives, the people who, you know, was making hominy before white man ever come over here and taught them how to do it. This is actually how they did it. They didn't, they weren't just making lye, but, you know, pouring water through ashes and going through that process, which I have done, you know, several times on video, just to show how it's done and to make soap. Okay, you don't want your lye for hominy to be, it doesn't have to be that strong. Okay, so just in a few minutes this will be cooked down. Drying my cast iron pot back out at the same time, so that won't rust. It'll stay seasoned. Anyway, just in a few minutes we will polish this off. I will put it in a mason jar and let you guys see it. All right, you all, here we go. I hope I can do this with now. I'm dipping that out of there, you all, with this dipper. This dipper actually belonged to my dad. It's one of the dippers we used to have in the water bucket at home, because we didn't have no running water. It either come from the spring or we got it out of the well. So I'm filtering that again, and I've still got a little bit left in there, but I will let you all see that right there. Okay, you see why I'm filtering it? Now you can let it completely settle. I didn't do it for this video, but this will settle out, you guys, and then when I get ready to use it, I will just gently pour that stuff over into the hominy. Okay, and I've probably got maybe a pint more left in there. Now, one of the ways to tell whether or not you have made lye, for one thing, the smell, but this stuff is very, very slimy to feel. If it doesn't feel slimy on your finger, it's really, really not very strong. Okay, This right here is really, really slimy, you guys. Really slimy, okay? So that's the way it feels. It's got a really good viscosity, I think that's the word. It will feel really slick on your fingers. And that right there, in fact, is really, really slick. And it smells like homemade lye. Definitely. So I will be using this to make the hominy next time, and not a sock with ashes in it, okay? That's what I'll be doing with that right there. And before I forget it, let me give a shout out to the Blind Pig and the Acorn channel, also from down in there in western North Carolina. If you like good gospel music, you should definitely check out the Blind Pig and the Acorn channel. This man that sits there and plays with Grandma sometimes, I can't think of what his name is, but you know, it's just I'm brain dead in that kind of stuff. Anyway, he sounds like, I mean, you can't, I don't know anybody can pick a guitar like this guy. I mean, this fella can play the guitar and sing as well. So with that, you all, I'm gonna let you go, and remember this one thing: never make a decision when you're angry. Always make your decisions after you've went and talked to the good Lord Jesus Christ. If you make a decision when you're angry, you'll always make the wrong decision. With that, you all, may the good Lord bless you. Till next time, so long for now.